Hello, everybody watching out there on Twitch and YouTube. It is back episode 74 of the Shadow Call podcast. Of course, the typical three-man wrecking crew is here. Myself, James, and whoever the fuck this is.
What? Just wearing a hockey mask. What? What's up, dude?
Anyway, Scott's gone crazy.
Representing, man. It's Happy Halloween weekend, dude. Got the hockey mask. Represent Leatherface. This is episode 74 in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Came out in 74, so, you know, Kismet, Fate, whatever you want to call it. Kawinky dink.
Yeah, meanwhile, my costume is just me in a Buckeyes jersey.
Scary
a
shit.
Circle.
James Laurinaitis jersey. Well, I thought about actually... Hang on a second.
A Star Wars.
I'm
My
John
Star Wars?
Cena now. I do have the wristbands, but they're in some boxes and I can't find them.
Wood life. This is basic tokenomics.
Kurt, you standing here claiming intelligence? That's impossible! Your head is hollow! Your t-shirt used to say you suck, but they switched it because you swallow.
Jack. Ass. Okay.
Big Brock Lesnar, here comes the pain. God build me strong, forget to give me brain. You hop around all day like there's potatoes in your crack. And that's a nice tattoo of your mother on your back. Okay, I'm done.
And we're losing subs as we speak.
Hey,
All right.
and now we've lost them all.
Yep, we're going. Back to nothing. Back to zero. Square one.
Anyways, welcome to the Shadow Call podcast.
Oh, yeah, that's
Halloween
what we're
special.
Hey!
Special.
Happy Halloween,
Halloween,
Halloween, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
Silver Shamrock is cooking!
So yeah, tonight it's
Trick or treat,
since,
motherfucker.
no, it's Devil's Night.
Yes. Cabbage Night, Devil's Night, whatever
Yes.
you want to call it.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, I figured since it's the day before Halloween, we do a Halloween Havoc show. And why not do one of the more infamous Havoc shows in history?
Spin the wheel, make the deal. Spin the wheel,
make
make the deal. Make the
spin the
deal.
wheel,
Spin the
make
wheel,
the deal.
make the deal. Sting,
Halloween Havoc
I knew you'd
1992.
come.
All over my face.
Jesus Christ.
But,
Well then, giddy up.
oh, was that Sting or Zev? I'm sorry, never mind. Problem? Situation?
Yeah, I'm looking at
Sure.
you.
Silence.
We're really silent. I think we lost the feed.
Check. 1. 2.
Alright, so yes, Halloween Havoc 1992. Before we get into this shindig, Scott and James, how would you guys like to tell us all about where was WCW at this point in 92 and what happened afterwards? Because there's a lot.
WCW was in a very shitty place, as was the entire wrestling industry here in the United States.
Yeah, we have passed the Jim Heard Enough era of WCW, and we had just gotten through the Kip Fry era, the very brief Kip Fry era, who was basically the big movie
Lincoln, you
producer.
miss it.
There it goes. Basically, the big movie producer came in and renegotiated everyone's contract to basically give them anything they wanted, because he figured, hey, pay them all they want, they'll do all that work for you. Doesn't understand pro wrestling, obviously. And, yeah, even Jake Roberts went on records to say that he negotiated a really good deal with Kip Fry. He would have been, quote, set for life. Probably didn't take into account how much cocaine he'd be doing after years after that. But, thank you, man. Tea time. And it was shortly after that that the Cowboy came a-knocking. Cowboy Bill Watts came comes on board and takes over wrestling operations of WCW. And the first thing he did was tear up all those contracts and basically said, fuck you guys, we're not doing this. I know this business better than the producer does, so you're all going to have to earn your keep. And cut all those contracts down to not bare minimums, but a lot less than what they were doing, including one Jake Roberts, which is another reason why Jake still hates Bill Watts to this day. And of course, the company's in flux because there's so much changing going on behind the scenes. There's really like no really definitive guy. Ron Simmons is WCW World Champion. Chono is NWA World Champion. There's that whole situation going on at this time where the NWA is kind of being, moved out, and WCW is going to take over as the brand. So it's in flux at this point, along with what James said, being that the wrestling business was going into its recession. So all those things against us right off the top, and this is the kind of show we get.
Yep. So, statistics revolving around Havoc 92. So, Halloween Havoc 92 from the Philadelphia Civic Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Attendance of 7,000, 5,000 paid, which was lower than 91, but the second highest of 1992 with Great American Bash and Starrcade as the highest. Live gate, $75,000. Higher than 1991 and the highest live gate of 1992. Pay-per-view buys 130,000, lower than 1991, and was the second highest of the year with Super Brawl 2 as the highest. So business,
Yeah.
But then again, wrestling recessions.
Within the context of 1992 WCW, not terrible, but overall. And of course, when you watched the show, they turned the lights off on the crowd. So,
yeah. Because you could see in several shots how sparse it was. So that just goes with it too.
Yep. But we kick things off. Oh,
and just to point out once again, reminder: this is in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Okay, let's start with that as the building block for how the show goes. Because the first match really indicates we're in Philadelphia.
Yep.
So yeah, the first match, it's a 6-man tag team match. We have Arn Anderson, Bobby Eaton, and Michael P.S. Hayes versus the team of Shane Douglas, Tom Zink, and Johnny Gunn. While this match, a really good 6-man tag, but good lord, the crowd was not having Zink or Gunn. They may like Shane Douglas a little bit, but they were really for Arn, Bobby, and Hayes for this match.
They even acknowledged it on commentary, like, the fans are into the veterans cheating.
Yes. Yeah, they had pretty good work, Jesse, on that one, trying to cover it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Jesse Ventura, Jim Ross, as our commentating team here. Oh, God. And a very good point, like you said, we're in the bizarro world here where Hayes, Anderson, and Eaton are the heels, and the crowd is loving them. And because we know that Midnights have always been over in Philadelphia. The Horsemen have been over in Philadelphia. The Freebirds are over in Philadelphia. You got Tom Zink, who's 2 years in the company, not going to go anywhere. You got Shane Douglas. He's out of the dudes at this point. And imagine, this is October 1992, where he'll be in under 2 years and what he'll do to really change the business on the belt after the match with Scorpio, the NWA title. And also there's Johnny Gunn, a.k.a. Salvatore Sincere, a.k.a. Mr. Bitter Tom Brandy. You wonder why he's bitter.
But in the end, Shane Douglas, Tom Zink, and Johnny Gunn defeated Arn Anderson, Bobby Eaton, and Michael Hayes in 11 minutes, 2 seconds in a really good opener.
And the crowd did not like it.
No, they did not.
They shit all over the baby faces. In
1, 2, 3, boo!
Oh, that reminds me, we have some dignitaries in the audience, too. We can clearly see, number one, Hat Guy. Famous Hat Guy from ECW Arena is in the audience. Also, WWF superfan Vladimir is in the audience, too. You get to see both those guys. They're not that far away from each other. There's a couple seats away. And I sent you guys a clip, a picture I took. A young Brian Heffron, the blue meanie, is in the audience and gets on camera at one point, waving to the camera like that. I was like, oh, wait, I know that face. Fucking blue meanie. I should tweet that out. He'll probably pop one.
Yeah, you probably would.
Mm.
Following that, we have a bit of we have a dream match, so to speak, right here. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat versus Flying Brian Pillman, and how interesting, Pillman being the heel in this match, and these two go out there and put on a very damn good match. Like, holy shit. And I love the psychology too. Like, it's two high flyers, but Steamboat's going for the more power game in this match, pulling out power moves that you wouldn't normally see Steamboat do prior.
Yeah, and again, this is the onset, like you said, of Brian going heel, starting to stretch those muscles a little bit more. Steamboat being Steamboat, and both guys well respected by the audience, so they're able to actually have a match, and the crowd gets into it. They enjoy it. They enjoy the athleticism, the physicality, and the story behind it. So it's a solid match. I think the only thing missing for this match was a championship. Like, if there was a TV title involved,
yeah,
that would have been a little bit, like, maybe a little bit bigger. But solid match, and Brian does a good job, and Steamboat, of course, does great stuff as always. So,
James, anything to add?
Nothing really to add. Really solid match with these two.
And in the end, Ricky Steamboat defeated Brian Pillman in 10 minutes 25 seconds.
Sunset flip.
Yep, with a sunset
out of the
flip.
out of a fish out of water. It's like a half a fish out of water spot.
Next up, and for match number 3, we get the first of 4 championship matches of the night for the WCW United States Heavyweight Championship. Now, I'm still confused as to how the fuck this worked, because Rick Rude was the champion.
So Rick Rude was the United States champion. He was also going to be wrestling for the NWA title later on in the night, but he was forced to defend the US title to wrestle twice. So, with the NWA title match, each guy would have a referee. Kayfabe-wise, some negotiation with Harley Race to be his referee. Vader gets to be his replacement. Vader defends the US title on behalf of Rude. If Koloff beats Vader, Koloff wins the US title.
Which leads us to this match. It's Big Van Vader defending Rick Rude's championship against Nikita Koloff. And I do remember that this was part of the short-lived Rude-Koloff feud that was going on at the time. And for the match between these two, I thought it was a good match between these two.
I like this match. I think it was really good. It was a big hoss fight, between two guys, and because Koloff was always billed as the Russian strongman, and Vader's the freaking monster, so they can both kind of play their strong game, but they can both sell for each other too, and it's not going to hurt either guy. Vader does a great job selling for Koloff, and Koloff too. I mean, Koloff, when he started in '86, green as shit, wasn't the best seller. That's why working that best of 7 program with Magnum TA really helped Scott out. So he was able to take that experience and put it towards working with a guy like Vader. Because back in the old days, Koloff would not have sold shit, and it would have been horrible. So that helps this match a lot. Both guys working for each other and really putting each other over. And a solid finish, a simple finish that made sense.
And if I'm not mistaken, this was Koloff's last match. This was around the time where Koloff was pretty much starting to be done.
Oh, okay. I didn't remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I think his wife had died. I know his wife had gotten cancer. That was about the time, like, he had left WCW, went to the AWA briefly, did some work there because he's from Minnesota originally. And I think his wife got sick, and I think she may have passed on, and then he went back to WCW. But I may have the timeline wrong there. Maybe she passed away in the interim here.
Because there was always a rumor that Koloff got injured in this match that led to his retirement, but he's since debunked that. But it was like around this time where Koloff was pretty much done wrestling. This might have been either his last match or one of his last matches.
I would speculate, and this is just me speculating because of what's happening or going to happen with WWF and the steroid scandal. I think maybe Nikita was like, I better get out of here.
Probably.
Because, of course, he's all natural.
But in the end, Vader defeated Nikita Koloff in 11 minutes, 35 seconds with the powerbomb to retain Rick Rude's United States Heavyweight Championship. And then after that, we get match number 4, the second of 4 championship matches for both the NWA and WCW World Tag Team Championships. Champions Barry Windham and Dustin Rhodes versus challengers Dr. Death Steve Williams and Stunning Steve Austin.
Who's replacing Terry Gordy. Terry Bam Bam Gordy. Right. Yeah, it was supposed to be of Doc and Terry, and then Terry didn't make the show for whatever reason, I don't know. And kayfabe-wise, they suspend him indefinitely. So Cowboy Bill Watts goes to Steve Williams, says, find yourself a partner you think you can win the titles with. He picks Stunning Steve, and we have the tag match.
Now, see, originally, this was supposed to be Doc and Gordy versus the Steiners, but then the Steiners lost the tag belts to Barry and Dustin, and then, of course, Gordy gone, so then they changed it to Steve and Steve.
Steve and Steven. Legit Steve Williams and Steve Williams.
Yeah.
It was Dr. Death the reason that Steve Austin had to change his name from Steve Williams.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. Crazy. Crazy how that works.
Despite all the craziness, this was an awesome tag team match between these two teams. Like, holy shit. For the psychology going on here, and for the fact that Steve and Steve, they were just thrown together, they somehow crafted a great fucking tag match. Probably one of my favorite tag matches I've ever seen in WCW. And Barry and Dustin together, seeing two brick shithouse dudes.
But also, together. They were running the story that Dustin and Barry, there was starting to be some dissension between the two.
Yeah. Because wouldn't eventually after this, Barry team up with Pillman for a short time before the Hollywood Blondes came about?
Make the Hollywood Blondes, yeah. Mm-hmm. But we also have several what the fuck moments in this match. The ref bump, the second ref, bell rings, and then second ref counts a 2, and the bell rings again. Like,
yeah, the final 2 minutes was very much a cluster.
Fucking mess.
The fact that they went 30 minutes.
Yeah, that. I mean, I like this match, but honestly, the finish takes me out of it personally, and. Honestly, I don't think anybody in this match really did anything really that fantastic. All 4 great workers, that's undeniable, and they had a good tag match, but nothing about it really stood out to me, except for the very, very creepy exposition moment where Steve Austin and Dustin Rhodes reverse a tombstone spot. Mm-hmm. That was a bit off-putting to see that. So, yeah.
But in the end,
what was that?
But in the end, Barry Windham and Dustin Rhodes fought Steve Williams and Steve Austin to a 30-minute time limit draw. Barry and Dustin retained the tag titles. Mm. So that was the first half of Halloween Havoc, and really, I thought it was a really good first half of the show. Like, everything good to great on the first half. But now, oh dear Lord. But before we get there, we get the segment, the big non-wrestling segment, one of 2 big non-wrestling segments of the night.
Ching.
Where Vader, Harley, and Paulie dangerously talk about what happened with Vader retaining for Rick. And then Medusa coming out and basically, without, kind of leading to the breakup of the Dangerous Alliance right here, as Paulie just hammers at Medusa and nearly makes her cry before she kicks the shit out of Paulie.
Basically calls her a whore.
Yep.
Yeah.
When he says, I tried to get another hooker to be his manager. It's like, wow, Paul. Because remember, Paul wants to get out of there. Paul does not, he's not fucking happy there.
Yeah.
Him and Bill don't get along, so they're ending They're ending the big push. They're ending his faction, which was the faction in the company up until this moment. And he's like, fuck it. I'm just going to throw everything out there. It was funny, though. I see Medusa start beating on Paul. I saw Grizzly Smith come out. I got worried for a second. I'm like, oh, wait. Medusa's over 15. She'll be safe.
Oh, Jesus.
What
and if you don't know what he meant, do your research.
Yes.
Dark Side of the Ring.
Dark Side of the Ring. Yes.
Yep. But now to the second half of the show, and up next, the third of 4 championship matches of the night for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship with Kinsuke Sasaki and Harley Race's special guest referees, Masahiro Chono with Hiro Matsuda defending against Rick Rude with Medusa. Now, on paper, this should have been an amazing match considering they had an awesome match in the G1 earlier in the year. However, some people may not know, Chono went into this match with a bad neck injury caused by a botched tombstone from Austin, which is so weird. So weird to think that the exact same thing that happened to Austin, he did with Chono. It's so weird looking.
Old karma.
Ooh. But the fact that Chono went through that and then continued is a testament of how tough Chono is.
Oh yeah, you don't mess with Chono.
But that does not excuse this match was fucking horrible. But
it's bad.
But
whose idea was it to put the guy with the bad neck in a 20-minute match?
Mm-hmm.
Rest holds. Some
that,
wrestling, rest holds.
Gotta protect him. So it's like, okay, cut the match in half.
Yep. I give him credit, though. He takes the Rude Awakening, which we know is not a shoot, but still, it's impact on the bump on the neck anyway. So, so got to give him credit. I mean, Chono, like I said, Chono was one of the 3 Musketeers when it came to Japanese wrestling.
During
him,
90s,
Muto, and Hashimoto during that period. So he was unstoppable at the time. And, of course, he's got the belt. He's got the big gold belt, so they had to have him on the show, I guess, just to do the match. And otherwise, they couldn't just strip him. But once again, we get another fucking ref bump mess thing going on for the finish as well. Just and they take forever on the floor. You know, it's like you got Chono's Rude hits the Rude Awakening, but Sasaki and Race are on the floor, basically like watching each other. Like, should we turn around yet? No, not yet, kid. Okay, yes, sir. And then back of the ring, STF. Here comes Sasaki, ring the bell. Then Race is like, no. Like, yes, whatever. It's just like a fucking mess.
Yeah, I mean, for as bad as this match is, I feel like we can't really make fun of it too much given the circumstance with Chono, because like I said,
circumstance or not, it's still bad.
It's still bad, but it's not one that you could really make fun of too much given the context. But like I said, had Chono been healthy, this probably would have been the best match of the show.
Not better.
Probably. But alas, Rick Rude defeated Masahiro Chono by disqualification in 22 minutes, 23 seconds. What? Anyways.
Frozen.
Come back to us.
Up next, the penultimate match of Halloween Havoc 92 and the 4th and final championship match of the night for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. Champion Ron Simmons versus challenger the Barbarian with Cactus Jack?
Barbarian.
Okay. So, can somebody explain, like, what was going on with Foley? Was he hurt at the time, or what? Because
I don't know. Probably should have been Ron versus Cactus.
I was going to say, this should have been Cactus versus Ron, and the match would have been awesome, but it's like, no disrespect to Ron Simmons, but when I'm looking back here at this time with him being WCW champion, he felt like a mid-card world champion.
It was a huge win. It was a great
win, moment.
But a lot of times you get the great title win, but the not so great title reign. And
it's the past equivalent of the modern day equivalent is Kofi's reign.
Yes, great moment, but the reign itself,
WrestleMania, but that run is forgettable. So it's
unremarkable. Not completely terrible, but not one that You remember the win, but not the
But
reign.
you don't remember the reign. Yeah, it's definitely one of the most forgettable reigns of this time period for sure. But and the match here, it was just an average match between these two. It's like we said, this should have been Cactus versus Simmons, and this would have been an awesome match between those two.
Yeah.
But for some reason, we get the Barbarian.
And no disrespect to Barbarian.
Yeah,
No,
but
he's not a
but
main
not
event guy.
world champion.
No.
Because
No.
I think of him as a tag guy.
Right. Powers of Pain. That's it. Him and the Warlord. That's what
Him
that's
and
what impressed me.
Haku.
Yeah, and that
Faces of Fear.
Right. Yeah, that's all you think of when you see him. And he's still in the Barbarian Powers of Pain garb with the paint and the mohawk and all that stuff. But it doesn't mean anything at this point. And Simmons is not going to back down to him. You know, so
They tried to build him up as some sort of credible tough guy contender for him, but
No,
which I'll give him credit. They tried something, but they just whiffed on it.
And you can't fault somebody for trying.
No, you can't. But I think that's also a Bill Watts thing because he likes the bigger, tough dudes and wants them in the high stakes positions, and probably saw, hey, Bar's here. He's a big guy. Ron probably have a good
why the fuck not?
Yeah, why the fuck not? Give it a try, man. It didn't work.
Not a terrible match, but not a good match either. It was just there.
Yeah.
Just an average run-of-the-mill match as Ron Simmons defeated the Barbarian in 12 minutes, 41 seconds. Probably 6 minutes longer than it should have.
Probably.
But now, let's get to the thing this show's remembered for the most. It's time for the main event. It's time to spin the wheel, make the deal.
We already spent. The wheel was already spun. And,
yes. And out of all of the choices...
Let's back up, to that part, to that scene, because it looks good starting out. Sting walking up to the ominous wheel, and it's got the spikes on it like a buzzsaw blade. It looks so ominous.
Coming from the depths of hell.
The depths of hell, with smoke. And then here comes the production dude setting up the frickin' lever and 1 second and going around the back with the cord. Can you imagine that ever happening in WWF? No. Because Vince would be like, why the fuck is that guy on TV? What the fuck is this shit? Cut over to Sting. And they just let it happen. It just happens there. And then Sting pulls the thing back, waits for it to start, then lets it go. Takes forever for it to spin. And then finally it ends on one of the most obscure wrestling stipulations we ever heard of. And I remember seeing that, like, in real time I saw this. And I'm like, that?
Coal Miner's Glove?
Now think about this. The Coal Miner's Glove match is primarily a Southern wrestling stipulation. Levi, where's the show happening?
Philadelphia.
Oh, look who was in charge.
Yeah, and that's the reason. That's the reason why. It's like you couldn't thought of a cage match.
Texas Death Match.
And barbed wire.
Barbed wire, whatever. I mean, a cage match would have been perfect for these guys. There's a lot less barbed wire, all that garbage to work with. They could have done something with that. So, Coal Miner's Glove, instantly right away, they're battling an uphill battle here. So
and is Coal Miner's Glove essentially like a glove on a pole thing?
Yeah, with a piece of hard steel on it. And you get it, as Jesse had to explain the step twice on the show's commentary. You climb the pole, you get the glove, which has a piece of cold hard steel on it, and once you get that glove, you could use it. That's it.
And pretty much it's like one hit and it's over.
And that's it, yeah.
And that's exactly what happened.
So yeah, the main event, Coal Miner's Glove match. Unsanctioned. Sting versus Jake the Snake Roberts. Now, before we're talking about the match, given the fact that Jake Roberts, because let's not forget, earlier in 92, he was still in WWF, and with the whole sex scandal and stuff, Jake wanted to become a company spy standby, like a representative.
He wanted Pat Spot.
He wanted Pat Spot, and Vince just didn't want to do that just in case things get settled. Which I could understand that, but then Jake was just like, well, then I guess I'll just go and see what else I can do. And he comes to WCW, which, big fucking deal. huge fucking deal that Jake came to WCW, and like you were talking about earlier with the guy before, Bill, giving him a big fat contract that could have set him up for life before Bill Watts said, nope, fuck that, not doing that.
Because Bill had heat with Jake from Mid-South days.
Right. Yeah, and Jake and Bill never got along, and that's part of this whole deal, probably the way they were given such a shitty fucking stip, because Bill's like, fuck him, Yeah. We'll take care of Sting, but we're gonna try to make Jake look bad. So.
Yeah, because when you look out on paper, if not for the stupid ass stipulation, if it was like you said, cage match, or I would have loved a Texas death match between these two.
There was an I Quit match on there.
An I Quit match. If it were those, or hell, even a normal match, Sting, Jake Roberts, that sounds like it could be a great match. And here we get one of the worst main events in WCW fucking history. Oh my god!
Not really.
It was bad, but I wouldn't call it one of the worst.
Honestly, I don't even think the match is that bad. I think more people are harping on the fact of the stipulation, because if you watch the match, the psychology is there. Sting tries to use his speed and athleticism to get over on Jake. Jake tries to ground Sting, throw him out of the ring, beat him up, hit him with chairs, hit him with anything he can to keep him off his game. Sting tries to fly around the pole and get at Jake to get up the pole. So they do the best they can with the story they're trying to portray. You cannot have a match with Jake without psychology involved, minus, of course, Heroes of Wrestling. But that's 7 years away. But I that's my thing. I think more people up on the fact that the stipulation is so shitty that they think it's a shitty match. And the match itself is really not as bad as people remember it to be. There's good selling going on. Jake hurts his shoulder in the match, kayfabe. So when he hits the DDT, he's selling the shoulder. He can't capitalize. He can't beat Sting. That's a big factor in the psychology and storytelling of this match, and I think they do it pretty well. So this is just my opinion about it, but that's the way I see this match. Because we get to the shitty finish, and they have to do with what they got. And,
just brings the snake out. He has the snake. Sting uses the coal miner's glove. The snake grabs on, and it takes like 3 times for him to actually attach.
Get it? Yep. And then coal miner's glove, punch, 1, 2, 3. There you go.
As Sting defeated Jake Robertson.
I will say, it's not the worst match of the night.
No, it's not. No. It is not that. No.
But yeah, Sting defeated Jake Roberts in 10 minutes, 34 seconds.
And hell, soon after this, Jake was gone.
Yeah.
He maybe had a couple of appearances, and then...
That was it.
Then that was it.
He would do
Probably was like, well, since Bill's here, I don't want to be here anymore. Fuck this place.
So he's like, fuck this, I'm out of here. I think he still had some kind of injuries going on. I know he had his neck repaired, but I think he had some other problems there. He would go on to work at Smoky Mountain whenever he showed up. Jim Cornette has talked about that story many times. And then Jake would make his recovery.
To WWF in
his recovery and
made a few appearances in ECW and then Heroes of Wrestling and now
the fuckers on the top of
AEW. Yeah.
So good on Jake. The fact that man is still walking this earth. Okay.
Yes.
Cheers to Jake. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So overall, Halloween Havoc 92. This is the definition of Tale of Two Halves. First half was a really good first half. Every match I thought in the first half was good to great. Second half, though. Oh, dear Lord me. So, overall, Halloween Havoc 92, it's an okay show. Just for the first half. The second half definitely brought the show down quite a bit. But overall, it's not a bad show, but it's not a great show. It's okay because you had the first 4 matches that saved this show from being one of the worst shows in history of WCW. So, I would give this show a bit of a recommendation, but only for the first 4 matches. After the first 4 matches, you could avoid the second half and...
I say you got to commit. You got to watch the whole thing if you really want to get the full feel.
and you got to watch the mini movie that advertises this show.
Yes, you do. Yeah.
Where's the laser eye match?
That was the other thing too about the show. It was so lacking in theme. Jesse's the only one that dresses up. Well, Missy Hyatt too.
Yeah,
Missy Hyatt looks great. Other than Jesse in the costume and Missy in costume and the wheel,
nothing Halloween about it.
Nothing Halloween about this. There's more stuff on Halloween Havoc at NXT now, for fuck's sake. So,
you had Bruno on this show.
Yeah, Bruno.
Yeah, this is the wrestling that I want. Yeah, sure, Bruno, sure.
Yeah. But now on to favorite, least favorite, sleeper, and shocker of the night. For me, favorite is going to be the tag title match. Despite the clusterfuck of the last 2 minutes, I thought the match was great. Least favorite, it's toss-up between Rude and Chono and Sting and Roberts, but if I had to pick one, I'm going to go Rude and Chono just for the mere fact they went 22 minutes. Sleeper? I'm going to give the sleeper to Steamboat Pillman. And then shocker, I'm going for shocker in a bad sense, Sting and Jake. Scott?
My favorite, because sometimes favorite isn't the best match on the card, is Sting and Roberts. I just remember so much about this match, and this is the match that the show's remembered for. And like I just said, the match is not as bad as people think it is. It really is not, except for that fucked up finish. But there's a lot of fucked up finishes on this show, so it's just par for the course at this time of WCW. So that's my favorite. Least favorite is Chono and Rude. There's no getting over that. Sleeper for me is Steamboat and Pillman, and the shocker for me is Nikita Koloff and Vader. Great big man match. I think it was really, really good.
James?
My favorite was Steamboat and Pillman. Least favorite was the NWA title match. Sleeper, the US title match. I thought that was really good. And then shocker, the fact that the main event was a coal miner's glove match.
Just that. Yep.
Of all the stipulations,
that's the one they get. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think in hindsight it was a rib.
Yeah.
It was a fucking rib from Bill on Jake. Yep. And that's why it happened. So.
But push job endeavor.
I agree.
Yes.
Push job endeavor for this show.
Push job endeavor. I made it real simple in this one. Push job endeavor. Shane Douglas, Tom Zank, Johnny Gunn.
Oh God. Push Shane, Job Zank, Endeavor Gun. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. James.
Okay.
Yep.
Scott.
The only difference is I would endeavor I would actually endeavor Shane because we know where he would go. We'll get about that in a minute. I job Gun and I try to push Zank for like the 15,000th time. But that leads to the discussion we have about where people would be in a very short amount of time, because Shane Douglas in under 2 years goes to ECW, wins the NWA title, throws the belt down, cuts the infamous promo, and ushers in the era of Extreme. Paul E would be gone in under a year to take over ECW's booking and make all the strides that he did there. Ron Simmons would pass through ECW's doors. Bobby Eaton would pass through ECW doors. Arn Anderson stopped through ECW doors. So all the different names that you see.
Cactus,
Johnny Gunn, Sal Sincere, Tom Brandy, whatever you want to call him. He would pass through ECW. Brian Pillman would make his infamous run in ECW. Steve Austin, and just all the
Dr.
different guys.
Death.
Dr. Death. Yeah, even Gordy, who's not on the show, would be there. Rick Rude, never wrestled, but he was there.
Yeah.
Definitely part of the show there. Jake Roberts would come in on occasion. And Barbarian? No, Barbarian never did.
No.
But there's just so many faces on this show that would pass through those doors in one way or another in ECW.
Over the next few years.
Not too long, in the transition period going to WWF. And what do we have? We have Brian Pillman, who becomes infamous in many different ways. We have Shane Douglas, who we have Austin, who would become a huge star.
Austin, who did a little bit here and there.
A little bit here and there, yep.
Mostly the promos in ECW is what you remember him for down there.
Yeah.
Because he only had like 2 matches.
Both against Mikey Whipwreck and one including Sandman.
Yeah, go figure. So you have a lot of guys. You have Ron Simmons would go on to become a Hall of Famer in the WWF or WWE. And, Sting would be a Hall of Famer. Jake Roberts would be a Hall of Famer.
Austin Hall of Famer.
Austin Hall of Fame.
Steamboat.
Wyndham, technically, part of the Horsemen.
Same with Arn.
Yeah, same with Arn, yeah.
Michael Hayes, Hall of Fame.
Medusa.
Rick Rude. Medusa.
Rick Rude.
Yeah. And Huna Paul E. would still be going strong.
Foley.
Even better than ever.
Foley in the Hall of Fame.
Foley in the Hall of Fame. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you think about it, Vader, not in the Hall of Fame yet, but will eventually.
So much talent on this show. Just
that tells you at the time you couldn't fucking draw with anybody. You couldn't draw with anybody on the card. It didn't matter. So
couldn't draw flies with shit.
That's right. They were wrestling for 20 minutes, as Dusty Rhodes would say. You saw Chono and Rick Rude wrestle for 20 minutes. Vince entertained you for 20 minutes. Because, there's circumstances behind Chono, we know, with his neck and everything else. But even like the tag title matches, a half hour, it's like, come on, get something out of this. Let's keep going. And then we get a fucked up finish and then restart and a fucked up Broadway and everything else. They would do something different with that at the time in WWF, and they would try to. You'd see different talents coming through the doors. So just a good reflection on the business, the time frame, and how bad it was back then.
Yeah, because it would be middle of this year that the wrestling recession really started.
Really, the spring of '92 after WrestleMania.
After WrestleMania
is when
everything went down.
Yep. Slowly but surely, until the NWO came a knocking. So there you go. But that was Halloween Havoc '92. So now time to discuss and talk to you guys in the chat. So the big thing first, Dark Side of the Ring, the steroid trial. I haven't seen it yet.
Me neither.
But I will see it.
Yeah, I'll see it eventually, but I haven't had a chance to.
But did you see it, James?
Yeah, I saw bits and pieces of it.
And Ricky, apparently, because he watches Dark Side of the Ring all the time, he says, talk about a witch hunt with the steroid trial. I would believe that, considering how much of a witch hunt the plane ride from hell ended up being for a couple of weeks. I can't imagine what kind of shit was going to come out.
They did have Warlord on this episode of Dark Side of the Ring.
Wow. That's quite funny to have Terry on there. Is Jerry McDevitt on there? Did I actually hear Jerry McDevitt is interviewed on this show?
Yeah.
That's fucking huge. The fucking head of their legal department at the time is on that show.
Who still is.
He's still there?
He's still the head of their
I thought he was just like an advisor. Okay.
You always hear his name, but you never see him.
No, you never see him.
Until now.
That's crazy. I didn't know he was still on their. I thought he was like an advisor now. I didn't know he was still on the legal department there. Wow. Yo, fuck with Big Devitt, man. That motherfucker. He's a whale and a half.
Jim Ross even said, if I had to pick one lawyer to defend me for anything, I'd pick McDevitt.
Yep. I love the money to be made. I want to have a conversation with McDevitt and Paul Heyman. See that discussion. Oh my god, that would be so good.
Oh wow. Oh yeah, one thing we forgot with Halloween Havoc, Arthur Jones in the chat was asking, who was hot, Medusa or Missy Hyatt? Ooh, Jesus Christ.
Kind of tough. They were both hot in the show.
They were both, but if I had to choose one, I'd say Medusa.
The answer is yes.
I'm gonna personally
Yes.
I'm going to pick Medusa just because she has one advantage. Those gloves.
Oh.
There you go. Something follow up to last week when we were talking about Becky and Charlotte. I finally got around to watching that segment. What the fuck?
Yep.
I still don't know what to make of it. And now hearing that apparently the security had to escort Charlotte out of the arena after that happened.
Yep.
I have a theory of why that whole thing happened. I feel like Charlotte, she just wants to get the fuck out of there. Because
she's got a year or so to go in her contract and make 7 figures. I don't think she wants to go anywhere. I'm sure she wants to be with her hubby, but
that's probably why.
I'm going to be honest with you here. I'm getting nervous about Charlotte because I'm wondering if everything's okay. Honestly, because this woman's having a lot of surgery, and I don't know if she's getting encouragement from her husband to be. She's got daddy issues. We know she does. We know she's got dad issues, and I don't know. It screams Paige Alberto to me. That whole crazy situation between those two, I'm seeing so many similarities, and it's really got me nervous for Ashley, not Charlotte, Ashley. So,
yeah.
And it's like, if this whole thing that nobody likes her and nobody wants to work with her, it's like, why would AEW want anything to do with that?
Why would they want that? Just because her husband's there, her husband-to-be is there, what the fuck is he doing on the show there, please? But it's like, Charlotte's the bigger star here, let's face facts, between the two of them.
But
nobody wants to work with her. She just worked fucking SmackDown against Shotzi. I know that's what the internet is saying. But it's one of those things, like, they just want to throw wood on the fire here. But it's like, she was on TV, she worked with Shotzi, they had a good match, and it led to Shotzi and Sasha did a promo. She was still getting TV time. So really, nobody wants to work with her? That doesn't make sense to me. So,
yeah.
It may have been just an isolated incident that got overblown. One thing was supposed to happen, another thing actually happens, people get pissed off, they start screaming at each other, somebody hears about it, and it gets on the internet, and blah!
Telephone, telegram, dirt sheet writer.
Tell a wrestler, or something like that, yeah. So, yeah. So I'm just sensing too many craziness things with Charlotte these days. The daddy issues and whatever the husband's filling her head with. So, like I said, she still has over a year to go on her contract and makes a lot of fucking money. So,
anything else that happened this week?
Halloween Havoc NXT.
Yeah, which I didn't catch. Heard about it, didn't see it.
And Ricky just brought up actually something here I completely forgot about. What's going on with Ring of Honor right now?
Yes, that's the big news. Ring of Honor is no more, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, Ring of Honor.
Everybody was released.
Everybody's released from their contract. They're getting paid up until the end of the year, but at the end of the year, they're done. They can go anywhere they want. They're selling the library, and that's been on sale for like a year now. Vince apparently does not. He's not interested in any of their talent. He doesn't want any of them. So I mean, yeah, he's got the best they ever had now, pretty much. So I don't know what.
From what I heard, everybody's available to go anywhere right now.
Is it right now? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's they're pretty much done. I know they say they're on hiatus, but remember, WCW was on hiatus.
Right. There was all that talk of, Bischoff's company was going to buy it, Fusion Entertainment was going to come in and save the company, and that never went anywhere.
AOL Time Warner said, nope, we're not giving you TV time.
And Vince very easily, if he wanted to, could buy the logo and the trademarks and the library, just like he did WCW, and infiltrate all that onto Peacock if you wanted to, but is it even worth it now? Because, honestly, I couldn't even tell you who the Ring of Honor World Champion was, or any of the champions.
No.
That's a reflection on me, too, because I'm not paying attention. I understand that. But, I mean, the old days, I knew every one of the champions. And nowadays, I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't even tell you top 5 wrestlers that were still there. I know, Maria and Matt are out of a job again. Maria Kanellis and her husband, they're out of a job again. Where are they going to go?
Impact.
AEW.
Oh, God. I hope not AEW. God. There's no fucking room for him there.
Okay, AEW has too many wrestlers.
Yes, they do now. Yep. And along with that, the other big release that just got out of his no-compete clause is Wyndham Rotunda, a.k.a. formerly FKA Bray Wyatt. So he is now completely out of his contract, and wherever he wants to go, he can go now. There's people talking about he may not even go in wrestling. He might go and start doing movies. There's talk of him doing that.
I think he'd be good at that.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, that whole thing with him is still, like, I don't know what the fuck is the deal.
It is a head-scratcher. I don't get it.
With Ring of Honor pretty much gone, that's like another place is gone. And
how weird is it we're getting into a very, very close 1999, 2000, or 2000, era where you only had two big companies. ECW during 2000 was on its way
and
around.
Freaking Impact is still around.
Still going. Yeah.
I mean, Impact
no signs of slowing down.
Impact has pretty much outlived Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
And they were formed the same year.
The same year. Same month.
A few months
February
after.
2002. Okay, a couple months after. Because Ring of Honor started February 2002. And
Impact was June.
June, okay.
Yeah.
And in fact, Ring of Honor was almost around 20 years. And that's really unheard of for a promotion like that. And all the changes they went through, because it was Rob Feinstein running it, and Doug, rest in peace, Doug was part of the crew too. Gabe was one of the bookers. That is, a little tale that gets rewritten. Gabe wasn't the only booker at the time, folks, when the company started. It was Doug, it was Rob, it was Gabe. But then after the, LOL, I'll say you're 18th shit with Feinstein, Kerry Silkin buys the company. He runs it, he operates it, he funds it. And they keep going. They've had the changeover with talent. You saw the influx of guys like Alex Shelley came in there, Roderick Strong came in there, Jack Evans came in there. Various other new talents were starting to come in. Who's the fucking leprechaun guy? I can't remember his goddamn name right now. But so they had a lot of new faces coming in the company. They're trying to get on pay-per-view. Eventually, Hunter is tapped to be the booker after Gabe leaves. And then, Gabe left. Gabe leaves after being burnt out. I think Adam Pearce was next booker after Gabe. And I think after Adam was Hunter Johnson, who's Delirious. And then, Cornette came in and kind of doubled up with Hunter. And I think Hunter was booking right up until the end. So give him a lot of credit. He was booking that company for a long time.
And also, let's not forget, early 2010s, when Cornette's gone from TNA, he comes over and helps him get on Sinclair Broadcasting.
Right.
To get on syndicated television. That, I think up to this point, I always got it on Fox, but it would be like late night, like at 10, at 11 at night on Fox.
I would get it on like NBC at like 2 a.m. or some shit.
And I think I only watched it like 2 or 3 times on Fox.
But it's like Sinclair Broadcasting Group, who is worth billions, and they never did a fucking thing with ROH.
Nope. No, because Jim Cornette wrote the proposal that got Sinclair to buy Ring of Honor from Kerry Silkin. And Kerry made a good penny off that. So.
Big, what's the thing that we do now? Like, where it's like one thing leads to this. What the fuck is that called again?
The butterfly effect.
Butterfly effect.
Yeah.
Dixie Carter firing Jim Cornette leads to ROH being at Madison Square Garden.
There you go. That's a very good, very good butterfly effect.
I mean, once the Bucks and the Bucks, Cody, and all those guys, they left and they formed AEW. That was pretty much kind of the beginning of the end.
The beginning, the death nail for ROH.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like, ROH, like, for me, it's like, I respect ROH just for the mere fact they existed. But I was never one of those, like, big ROH fans that would say, like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever to happen in wrestling. Because it goes back to what I brought up many episodes ago. Why I didn't get as much into the independents is because seeing how the fan base was for that stuff and how they would shit on everything but themselves, I always had that fear that if I was to get heavily into that, I would have turned into the same type of person, and it's like, I don't want to do that. I've watched some matches, and I've seen some stuff, and I liked what I saw, but I'm not going to tell you that I was a huge ROH fan.
I mean, I got to work for the company as under ring crew for a while, and got to meet so many of the talents there. Saw the kind of things going on behind the scenes, and how it was to put those early shows on at the Murphy Rec Center at Philadelphia, or at the Rexplex in Lisbon, New Jersey, or if they worked in New York or Massachusetts, Ohio, any of those places that they got a chance to do shows. Pittsburgh, they worked their asses off to get that company going. And it filled the void that ECW left. And that style we see now. The style of Ring of Honor at the time is now what you see a lot of the time on WWE and AEW programming.
Yep.
So Ring of Honor helped showcase that new style that guys like Jerry Lynn were doing, AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Bryan Danielson, Paul London, Homicide, Loki, Samoa Joe. All those guys all helped cultivate that style, which you're seeing every place do now. So, it filled that void to where it became obsolete. Because I've always said one of the things that Vince McMahon does, he finds what other wrestling companies do, and he takes it and makes it better, or co-ops it to where you associate with his product. And that's what Ring of Honor became. It became the WWE wrestling style. And then AEW would do it, and Impact does it. So that's where Ring of Honor became obsolete. It's like, thanks, guys. Thanks for the ideas and the talent. We're going to take it all now.
Mm-hmm.
It pretty much became a feeder system.
Yeah.
Like ECW.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Exactly. So.
And then Ricky brought up, and I didn't know about this till he just said in chat, apparently Greg Hamilton got released from WWE for some shit.
Ring announcer, Greg Hamilton. Yeah, the ring announcer.
Raw ring announcer, yeah.
Yep. He's gone.
Yeah.
Moving on,
yeah. I know these guys have other jobs behind the scenes, but I don't know what Greg's were. Yeah, I don't know what else he did backstage. So, but also hired by WWE again. This time as a producer, Jimmy Yang. Jimmy Yang has been hired by WWE and is now a producer backstage. So him and Jamie Noble are the young dragons of the production company.
That's so funny.
It's the WCW Cruiserweight division, circa 2000.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, they said the Cruiserweight division after me.
Oh, God.
We got Hurricane Helms, we got Jamie Noble, we got Jimmy Yang, we just need Kaz Hayashi, and maybe Brian Kendrick, maybe if he's still around, give them jobs. You got the full Cruiserweight division going on there.
Need Shannon Moore and Evan Courageous.
There you go. Yep.
Oh, my Lord. Ricky brought up the question for us all, who's bigger, AAA or New Japan?
New Japan.
Yeah, New Japan.
I mean, AAA is known for, its style, of course, and Triple Mania. New Japan is, I think, more widely pursued by wrestlers because of the credibility that goes with working there. Plus, it's known for G1, Wrestle Kingdom, Tag Tournament. It's known for so many other things. AAA, in my opinion, and this is coming from a Yankee here, AAA is more known just for, Lucha Libre and Triple Mania, and that's kind of it.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing, though, where Ricky is, maybe in the South, has a much bigger presence. So, kind of leads to what we were talking about with the pay-per-view we reviewed. They have a primarily obscure Southern wrestling stipulation on a pay-per-view in Philadelphia.
In Northern
Territory, yeah. That's where total missed that one.
Does not mesh.
Does not compute.
Does not compute. I do not require sleep. But
did.
Can't heal you. I can't heal you. I'm a robot. But anything else this week?
Trying to think. I don't think so. I can't. I mean, the Ring of Honor news was huge.
Mm-hmm.
NXT. I don't know anything that happened on AEW besides the Elite dressing up as Ghostbusters and Bucknut. There was the Stay Puft Marshmallow guy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I guess some of the angles they were also doing recently on SmackDown, like the whole Lesnar being suspended, obviously to write him off for a few months and all this and that. But yeah, we're now heading into Survivor Series, where, and to go back earlier to what we were talking about with Charlotte and Becky, I could definitely see them maybe taking advantage of what happened last week to building up that match. For sure. Like,
oh, wait a minute. You mean we have a Shawn and Brett situation, and Survivor Series is around the corner?
Oh God! Oh no!
Unification screw job.
Ooh!
And then they can let Charlotte go.
Oh
Yeah.
man!
Oh Lord!
Wow! How about that, ladies and gentlemen? We just solved the code.
Ricky's like, no, not again.
What? Becky puts the figure 8 on Charlotte. Ring the bell.
Ring the bell. Oh my God! Sonya Deville, ring the bell.
Oh God!
You screwed Charlotte. You screwed Charlotte. Except you wouldn't hear that.
No, you wouldn't. We Want Flair. You got that on the pay-per-view too. I forgot about that part. We had We Want Flair chants at the Halloween Havoc pay-per-view we were watching during the Chono Rick Rude match, right in the intros. Yep. So yeah, we had a We Want Flair chant. That's going to start coming.
The Brooklyn screw job. Oh Jesus!
Wow, the Barkley screw job. Mm.
Oh man!
Aha!
We'll aha! Mm-hmm.
Good God! What, Ricky? What have you started?
Is Ricky following up now? Keep it coming, Ricky. Come on, brother. Come on, brother.
Hey, Ric Flair, your daughter's a whore. Hey, Vince, your son David's a bastard.
Your daughter's made of plastic.
Guess what, Rick? Your daughter sucked my cock.
Hey.
And then Rick punches him, and then big kerfuffle.
Hey, Rick. WCW sucks.
Bang.
Yeah, what's your point?
Flair, fuck the NWA.
Clip that.
I would do it. I would do it.
By the way, speaking of your Terry Funk voice, I took the clip from when he was talking about all them phalluses, and I took the normal pitch and I made it super demonic and super squealy, and it literally sounds like Terry Funk talking from hell. In fact,
Content.
I think if you guys go to the stream, I'll play it right now.
Oh God!
I'll play it over my computer real quick.
You play it on Twitch or
on both?
On both.
All right, to them phalluses. I can't do anything to the phallus. I don't like my own phallus.
Hang on, I get through one of your
myself a cunning linguist, but not in that way, jackass.
6,
Blocker.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Collagen peptides. No, thank you. All right, fire it up.
I already did. I'm sure my chat's going like, what the hell was that? Are you still waiting on it, Scott?
Yeah, I didn't hear it on Twitch.
Oh, alright, let me try again.
Do things to them phalluses. I can't do anything to the phallus. I don't like my own phallus. I consider myself a cunning linguist, but not in that way, jackass.
That sounds like something a Guar show would do.
Probably.
I am Robo Sleazy.
Ricky's like, dude, my freaking fake crow came to life. Dante's alive. Oh my lord. Yeah, it was like, whenever I was putting that together, I'm like, what the fuck did I just do? Thank you, Audacity, for having a pitch shifter.
Oh, yes, yes. The audacity! The unmitigated gall!
You called out the thunder. Now get ready for the boom!
It's almost that time of year, ladies and gentlemen.
2 months.
You fucking believe that? It's going to be November on Monday?
I know, right?
What the fuck, man?
Believe. But, figured a quick reminder to the chat of what the upcoming schedule is. So, starting next week, throughout all of November, Survivor Series top 10s. So, we got top 10 Survivors, 3 out of 4. Top 10 Survivor Series main events, top 10 Survivor Series disappointments, top 10 Survivor Series teams, and ending with top 10 tag team specialists. Yeah. And then for December, only 3 episodes, since I'm taking Christmas off that week, or that month. So we got December to December 2006! And then top 10 oddball tag teams, was that one of them?
Yeah.
Oddball tag teams, yep, that'll be the 11th.
And then after that, it was
the
Starcade 91.
Yes. Then we take... go ahead.
For next year, we're going to have to change things around because apparently I saw that SummerSlam is going to be July 30th.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Yeah, many pay-per-views apparently are going to be going to Saturdays instead of Sundays. So it won't just be SummerSlam. It's going to be several of them are going to be going.
But yeah, SummerSlam in July, meaning SummerSlam topics are going to be in July.
Yeah.
Well...
Yeah, I mean, well, we're going to have to preempt the show to like Sunday afternoon or something.
Probably. WrestleMania is going to be 2 nights again, which good.
Right. Yep, good. Yep. Keep them short. So it's that, and also that reminds me of one other point I want to make about Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor was still trying to do shows all through the pandemic, and they weren't making any money. So that's another issue for Sinclair to say, why are we funding this entity that's not making us any revenue? That's a business thing. So it's kind of like, whether it's a pandemic or not, they're like, we don't care. It was AOL Time Warner with WCW. It's good for a write-off for losses, but that's about it. So, and we do have Royal Rumble stuff set up for January, starting on January 1st, the New Year's Day. We'll be doing going back to the beginning, Royal Rumble 1988, one that was not on pay-per-view. It was on USA Network, and it was a 2-hour show, if I remember properly. Mm-hmm. The week after that, we'll be doing top 10 Royal Rumble moments. Then we're doing Royal Rumble 2007. Then top 10 Royal Rumble matches performances, meaning the Royal Rumble match itself, the person who did the best performance in the Royal Rumble match. Mm-hmm. And we round out the month of January with Royal Rumble 99.
No chance. No chance in hell.
No chance
you got.
But I figured I'd go ahead and ask the chat the Royal Rumble question of all Royal Rumble questions.
Oh, God.
Which was truly the worst Royal Rumble match ever? 99 or 2015?
15.
Because it's always a debate of which of those two was worse for different reasons, of course. I mean, like, I'll still... As bad as 2015 was for the booking of it, 99 will always be the worst one, in my opinion. Because it was basically like the extended version of 1995, where it was just two guys the whole time. Or in this case, it's Austin versus McMahon with 28 run-ins. China being the first woman to be in a Rumble match? Who gives a shit? Austin's getting attacked in the ladies' room.
And Austin wasn't there the whole time. Vince wasn't there the whole time. We'll get more into it then.
We'll go more in depth by then. But Ricky just said that he would like to be on for Rumble 07. So there you go.
Bring him on, man. Ricky, you can come on anytime you want, brother.
Yeah, anytime.
Man. You can come on. Come on, man.
Get your ass in here. Get your ass in here, kid.
Let me tell you something, you little jackass from Texas. I know about being from Texas, and if you ain't on the show, you cannot call yourself a living, breathing Texan.
Clip that now. Son of a bitch. Aha!
Son of a beep beep, son of a beep beep, son of a beep beep, son of a beep beep gun. You thought I was going to say son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch, didn't you?
Twinkle,
twinkle, little star.
Does anybody know what this duck is saying?
Ricky's like, damn you, Scott. Well, anyways, given the fact that we're now with that, I think it's a good place to wrap things up for tonight. So, clip it and snip it. But before we go, it's plug time. Scott?
Yes, sir. You find me on my YouTube channel. It's Mr. Scott doing reaction videos and all kinds of other stuff. Good stuff lined up to come at you in the month of November. If you watching this, you right now, you want to have a say in what I react to, you want a guaranteed reaction, you join my Patreon. It's patreon.com/it's Mr. Scott. Check out the promoter tier, which is the top tier, or the booker tier, just underneath the promoter tier. In those tiers are the benefits where you can decide what I react to with a guaranteed reaction video. Also find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/it's Mr. Scott. I'm doing weekly streams now on Mondays and Thursdays. It's Metal Monday on Monday, of course, and Thrill Me Thursday on Thursday. So come on by, watch me jam out. I had a lot of fun doing heavy Halloween this past Thursday night, playing a lot of metal and hard metal Halloween themed songs. So that was a lot of fun seeing the people out there. Wore the Jason mask and my whole garb there, and man, I was hurting when that fucking thing was over. Ugh. So much thrashing about. So yeah, find me on Twitch there, find me on Patreon, find me on YouTube. And you find me and our good brother Walter Ball as part of the Necrocasticon podcast, where we talk horror and heavy metal, and that comes at you every Monday via necrocasticon.com. So check us out. We're on Facebook. At least it's called Facebook for now, Twitter, and Instagram.
James?
You can find me on my YouTube at We Are Pro Wrestling, where I just finished my Rock career retrospective in the month of October. In the month of November, I've got a bunch of Survivor Series like up. If you want to know, check out my Twitter at WAPW_wrestling, where I have my schedule there. I have my schedule on my YouTube, so subscribe to my YouTube, follow me on Twitter, all that stuff.
And finally, you can subscribe to me, ThrashManiac99 on YouTube. Couple of things. So, yeah, I've been on a roll with some album reviews as of late. I was hoping I could have got to the Mastodon review today, but I don't think that's going to happen, because I'm trying to look for a nice stream of the album to check out beforehand, because I've been hearing from people that it's the best thing they've done since Crack the Sky. So, and it's a double album, so it's like 90 minutes, but I guess I'll find out eventually how it is. But as far as everything else happening on YouTube, next Sunday, not this Sunday, but next Sunday, next episode of Horseman's happening, where I'm interviewing Stian Gunnar Gunderson, the bass player of Blood Red Throne, on the show, and that's going to be fun. Anyways, that's all on the YouTube side. You can follow me on my dead Twitter at ThrashManiac99. You can follow me on my on fire Instagram at ThrashManiac_YT. And then finally, last but certainly not least, you can follow and or subscribe to me on Twitch at ThrashManiac99, because last night, I still can't believe this fucking happened. The username, cool_2427, you insane piece of dung, gifted 31 subs last night. Somehow didn't get a hype train, but still, the fact you did that, and 2,000 bits on top of that, I'm just still like... I literally had to walk off for like 5 seconds because it was like, this is borderline uncomfortable.
Dude, I know.
Now I know exactly how
I
Scott
know.
and our buddy DK feels every time
Yeah.
this happens.
God,
Holy
man.
shit, it was insanity, but...
It's one thing to see it happen to other people and participate in that. It's another thing to have it happen to you and question why. Why? What for?
What am I doing that's so
Yeah, I'm not that
irritating,
cool.
But,
So,
yeah, that was that. But tomorrow I leave for vacation for a few days. I'll be back
Have
home
fun.
Wednesday night, so I'll probably be streaming Wednesday night when I get home.
Mhm.
And I can't wait to hit up the record shops, and I am gonna go. My stack might be like this big, possibly, depending on what I can find. But anyways, we will see you next week. But for those watching on Twitch, we're gonna raid my sister from another mister, Cybertech chick, who's actually doing a giveaway tonight. So
nice.
go give her a follow. She just hit 100 the other night. So go show her some love, and then horns high, and we'll see you next week, you jackasses.